Hang on. This is dumb. I bought this stupid tripod, and it is not doing enough for me. Support. It's Friday night. Randomly, I realized that you could do a live stream. So let's just do a live stream. I've got a Coca-Cola. This is a small can. This is a really small can of Move limited edition Coca-Cola, zero sugar. This is my favorite of the whatever's going on with these designer. Of course, the cat is at it. Yeah. Rosalia. Guess she designed this. I've been told that all of these are just kind of different amounts of marshmallow flavoring, and I kind of believe that. This tastes like marshmallow. It tastes like s'mores, and that's just strange. Yes, let's put that thing on. There we go. Great. This is totally impromptu. Or just, it's Friday night, whatever. Let's go to it. Let's inform the world that this is going on. I'm just doing this on my phone. What the hell? Yeah. Let's get a shareable link. Boop, boop, boop. Who knows? We'll see how this is. This is so much easier than just setting up OBS. I've been meaning to. I went and set up OBS for the 12-hour stream a couple weeks back, and that was some work, and there was still stuff I didn't get, and there were still things that didn't work, or they didn't work quite right. But I'm glad everything kind of just came together. But being able to just prop open my cell phone and do this, even though my tripod is a piece of poop. That's pretty frustrating. That's better. Not really. It's fine. I guess you have to kind of advertise these things, don't you? Go figure. When you've got almost 10,000 subscribers, you can't get anything done. Not on the YouTube way of doing things. Well, whatever. We'll go for a little bit and see how this goes. Yes. Cat. Just doing cat stuff. I really hate this. I don't understand why this stupid thing. I just want it level. I just want it level. That's the only thing I want. I mean, it's better. Stupid. That's what happens when you spend 15 bucks on a stupid thing from Amazon. You get a crappy tripod. Anyway, it's Friday night. I was like, hey, let's just do something. And here we are. We're just doing something. Go figure. I'm just got my phone here. I'm just doing stuff. Cat is meowing in the background. I'm gonna plug in my power so this thing doesn't die. That's preferable, is to not die. How's your Friday nights going? What's going on? How we chilling? What are we drinking? I've got Move special flavored Mountain Dew, Coca-Cola, different company. Oh, I know this is what everyone would be doing on a Friday night, is just hanging out at home and having beers. I already finished my beers. Let me show you the beer I had. I got, this is WeldWorks. It's Bam Rubble. It tastes like it's a sour. But obviously it's like kind of patterned off of Fruity Pebbles. It's by Weldworks, upstate in Colorado. It is a beautiful beer. They make the most beautiful beers. They all, admittedly, they're kind of all like sugary, soury stuff. I had one of their strawberry cheesecakes. They had cherry strawberry cheesecake drinks, and it was one of the most amazing things I'd ever had. I figure, but for now, we're doing Move flavored Coca-Cola. They've had a couple of signature flavors recently. It was like Dream World, and they had the marshmallow one, and after the dude who is Marshmallow, and yeah, no, those are fine. I like Dream World. Marshmallow was a little weird. There was one other one that I cannot remember. Um, Coca-Cola designer flavors. Starlight. I do remember, yes. So Starlight was the original one, and I don't remember. I remember it was very, I don't know, like tingly, like a very, 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 very light version of Pop Rocks, and that was something else. But then Coca-Cola Bite. I don't even remember that. Dream World, Soul Blast. I don't remember that one either. Huh. Don't know. But yeah, how you do? It's Friday night. I figured I'd hop on the internet, and I could just do this thing. I hate this thing. Ow. Don't like it. I don't like it. I'm writing the next review kind of intermittently right now. It's 11,000 words, so it's already over an hour. And I'm like a third of the way through it, I guess. So I expect it'll be like 2.5 hours when it's done. I'm thinking this is the one on Giant Bomb. Been writing a lot. But it's been a lot of brain dumpy, like really like exhaust the brain kind of stuff. So go figure. I wish there was an easier way to make this. I guess there are trade-offs, right? Like this would be great if I was in landscape, but I don't know if it orients quite right for whatever. I don't understand any of it. Nothing makes sense. How's your Friday nights going, guys? Talk to me. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what's up. It's weird to be 216 subscribers short of 10,000. It is so strange. Because, was it 15 months? No, 16 months ago, I was at 1,800. And to have exploded 4.5 times over is just so strange. That's algorithm right there. That is, I had, there are subreddits where it's like, yo, work hard and then you'll just inevitably get pushed, and it's like, that's not how this shit works, man. It's not how that works at all. So to be picked up by the algorithm, a couple times now, which is entirely out of my control, that's just nuts. It's just nuts. So #blessed. Feel good about that. But yeah, it's Friday. It's Friday. Friday night. How freaking exhausted. I think I'm just gonna sleep all weekend. Sleep all weekend. I think I'm gonna ride my bike. I think I'm gonna get more of this script done. And then I started playing Knights of the Republic yesterday, and I had to get some. I don't know how big the file was, but it felt like I was adding like 2 bajillion terabytes of fan mods to Knights of the Republic to get it working in even a slightly decent way. It blows my mind that you can buy a game on Steam. Hey, would you name the 2023 video game release that you expect the most? Starfield. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, that's on my review calendar. That's my dream. Because I love Fallout 4 that much. I didn't play Fallout 76. I don't know, what was I thinking of? I was rambling about something. What a lovely robe. I really need to replace it is what I need to do. That's what I need. I need to take all those hot Patreon dollars and just get a brand new like silk robe with the Playboy bunny on it and just whatever. I've had this forever. Just using it for everything. May as well. What the hell? Um yeah. What was I talking about? Talking about Knights of the Republic. Yeah, getting downloading a bunch of files to get it just working because it blows my mind that there are so many PC games that are sold kind of just as they were, which was trash. Like when PC gamers were complaining about bad console ports, Knights of the Republic was one of the reasons why. How's work? It's doing fine. It's a complex situation. My goodness. Yeah. Because, I'm part time. So I'm figuring all that out. And, you may hate your job, right? Like, you may hate your job. And this kind of goes back to the hard space shipbreaker review thing, but it's like you may hate your job, but it's like it's still like there's a what I'm trying to say, there's a substantialness, there's a predictability to it, and you know, at the very least you'll be fed. Well, I don't really have that right now. It's really strange. It's this middle ground. My goodness, Kirby, meow meow meow, meow meow meow, Kirby, meow meow meow, and when you don't have that regularity, I mean, it's a half step from being unemployed entirely, right? When you're part time and you have full time's worth of financial obligations and this and that, and it's like I mean, I'm doing good work. I know I am. People love the work I'm doing, but it's so strange. It's just so strange. So work is strange. That's the answer. That's what that is. What's up, everyone? I'm holding this nail clipper. I really need to use it more often, but this is the puppy nail clipper. Keep that on my desk just in case they hop up and I need to clip, clip, clip. There we go. How's everyone doing? It's Friday night. It's Friday evening. It's 7:09 here, and we're chilling. I just decided impromptu to start up a stream, and let's just freaking go. I've introduced my Coca-Cola like 3 times now. Go figure. It's amazing that like chat disappears on here so quick. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I've thought about starting up streaming again, but I don't know what the demand is for that. 2 years ago, I was streaming twice a week, and I was not getting a lot of like traction. I was having a lot of fun, except I would stream for 4 hours. I'd stream 4 hours a night, and this was one night a week, and it was like getting people in the chat was real fun. Excuse me. But like it never really ended up being this big critical thing. You really have to be bombastic about this stuff when you're streaming. It's really nuts. So yeah, you just kind of never grow beyond like this kind of critical threshold. And so I've thought about coming back, but then it's like, well, why? That would take away time for anything. That would take going live, streaming 4 hours a week. I mean, I can't even relax after a day of work or anything. Like I have to come and stream. This is just more work. I mean, not this. This is a little bit of work. I've got to be on and like talk, but it's still work that I'm not getting paid a lot for, or hardly anything at all. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, that's Friday night. What can I say? It's Friday night. Hang on, getting it. It's Friday night. There we go. Looking at an old forum I used to hang out on. Not really hang out, but I visited periodically. And there's like no traffic from it, so it's like really weird. Yes, Kirby, I gotcha. I hear you, buddy. As soon as he hears my voice talking to a phone, he's like, I'm out. Gotta capture all the attention. Gotta let everyone know that I'm here. Go figure. Oh, man, I need a game that doesn't require so much freaking work to get into. That's one of the things I loved about Enter the Gungeon is you would get in, you'd boot up the game, you'd hit Y, and you were in, you were done, you were good. You could just go. And I don't have a game like that right now, and it sucks. Like, games have just become so difficult for me to get into. It's just been so strange. Unless I'm on review. Like, if I'm reviewing something, I'm right there getting all the details, studying it, being analytical. But, like, just casually playing a game, that's freaking tough. Like, just playing a game, like, just booting up an Xbox. I've got an Xbox controller right here. Right here, I've got an Xbox controller. I could play, like, a dozen games right now, and it's like, I don't freaking want to. I feel like I'm getting old. When I was... How do you maintain a relatively consistent... Hang on, what is this? How do you maintain a relatively consistent schedule of video releases given the work it takes and without doing YouTube full-time? I would argue... and Irascible, I'll get to your last comment there. I saw that it popped up. I don't have a consistency, really. Like, if you look at the past couple reviews that I've done, like, some are 3 months apart, some are 4 months apart, some are up to like 6 months apart. The difference, I guess, is just when I have time to work on them. When I've been unemployed, like in 2000, and then again in 2020, in 2020 or 2020, and then 2021, like I would be able to just zoom through and get a video finished. Like in 2020, I got Thief done, or I was able to work on Thief a lot more. In 2021, I was able to get Human Revolution out the door. Even just recently, I was able to get Hard Space Shipbreaker out the door because I'd already done all the work and gotten that done. And if I were doing this in a full-time capacity, obviously I'd be able to get this down to like, I don't know, a month or two per video, like a science, basically. Relatively easy. But yeah, I don't need... if you watch my video essay review where I talk about my process, all I'm doing is following the process. So then it's a matter of playing the game and then just having the time to go through the process. And once I go through the process, that's like the most predictable part because I've already built that out. I changed graphics for Hard Space Shipbreaker, so that, you know, added a little bit of time there, but at the same time, videos going forward, like, they're not really going to take that much time, or more time, I should say, than, like, I don't know, just anything else. So I wish, like, even in a perfect world where I was doing this full time. Kirby, my dude, I'm going to grab the cat. Hang on. Let's grab the cat. Let's grab the cat. That's a good idea. You gonna stop? You gonna stop? Stop. Thank you, buddy. Hello. I have a cat. So, yeah. So yeah, I was saying, even if I was doing this full time, it would be difficult to do this consistently, or to have a video out like every 2 months exactly, or like the first of every other month. That would be hard because each game is different, right? I mean, you could like, you could pace yourself. You could pace yourself in a way. Yeah, there you go. You could pace yourself. Hi. Hello, it's Kirby. Um, you could pace yourself in a way that like, um, you had extra time at the end for shorter games, and then longer games just took a little bit longer. But yeah, I kind of just followed the process. But even then, in that ideal case, the videos would just come out at different intervals. And there are still projects I'd love to work on, like the recutting the Infinite Lives documentary that I've been very, 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 very slowly coming through the footage of, and um, cataloging, where it's like, man, I'd love to do this again, but what's the point if I know that two or three people are gonna be really interested in that? So, yeah. Irascible, you still have to work tonight. Oh my dude, I'm sorry. So before I worked this job, I was doing two warehouse jobs. I was doing one in the morning, and then that was for 3 days, and then I was doing one at night. That was a night shift, and it would be a bit of a nightmare because it was just, I mean, it was a bit of a nightmare. You'd close one day and you'd have to open the next. And that sucked. And I remember working like full on retail, and retail has no respect whatsoever for your schedule, because you have to be available so many shifts, and they're going to be, looking for you here. They need people here. Don't ever call off because someone's got to fill in. But the idea of you could be clopening like all the time, and they didn't care. Like, that really messed me up. I remember that really messed me up. You'd be there till 10 o'clock, and you'd get home at 11, and it'd take till midnight to wind down, and then you'd be up at 5 in the morning. And it would take me till 1 to fall asleep anyway. Heaven forbid there was a new podcast or something I needed to listen to. And that sucked. That really sucked. But they didn't care because it was all, I mean, there'd be some supervisor behind it, but it was like all, it was all supervisors figuring that stuff. That sucked. So and there were points where I would be able to work out a schedule where it was like the same week to week, but that was hard to get, and you had to really know the supervisor. And supervisor churned out like every year, so you'd have to deal with that, or the manager, or whoever. I remember building a rapport and a relationship with one manager to do specific things, and then a new manager would come in and they wouldn't even recognize that, like, hey, this is a thing I could do. Okay, here. And you'd have to rebuild that relationship, and that sucks. It sucks. It is what it is. So, but hey, it's Friday night. We're hanging out. I've got the cat who's just been meowing in the back for attention. Now he's right here until he hops off and goes over and cries again. We're just hanging out. If you want to chat, let me know. I've got the chat thing going on here. And we got some stuff going on. And if not, we'll just call it a night. And otherwise, but it's like, hey, it's the future. It's the internet. Let me get on the internet. I'm on the information superhighway right now. All right, I'm cruising. Friday, yeah, I don't know what song you're doing. Oh, are you trying to leave? Are you trying to leave, buddy? You can't leave. He's got food. He always cries about food. I want to say I've had the weekends off regularly for like 15 years. But when I worked retail, gosh, from 2000 to 2010, I was always in on weekends. And it's not like weekends are some sacred holiday. It kind of sucks sometimes because there are things you want to do and you can't do because it's the weekend. like, I don't know. It just seems like a collective societal, like, I'm in. If you have weekends off, let me say this. If you have weekends off, it feels like you're part of a society and not like some weirdo standing on the side. It's weird to phrase it like that, but when you work like a Saturday or a Sunday, you feel like you're a part of the underclass where it's like, well, this is the only way I can eat this week is if I work 8 or 10 hours on a Saturday when everyone else is off. I remember the worst of it was holidays. Uh, Worst thing I had was having to work. You guys remember like Thanksgiving, right? Black Friday. That would start creeping more and more into Thanksgiving Day. When I started working at the age of 16, and I didn't realize that this would become the Crappy Jobs live cast, but whatever, I'll take what I can get. When I started working at Best Buy at the age of 16, my first Black Friday, this was obviously November of 2000. I'm that old, right? Um, Black Friday was 6 a.m. on Friday. And you had people that were lined up, sure. And you still had to get there early, sure. But I think the earliest people there were like 3 or 4 in the morning on Black Friday. So you still had Thanksgiving. You still had Thanksgiving for you. And over the years, like that started creeping forward. And I remember in 2016, I was working at Target in the warehouse, and it was I had to turn down 3 Thanksgiving dinners so that I could work on Black Friday. And Black Friday at that point was it was like 6 or 8 o'clock. It was 6 o'clock on Thanksgiving, which was positively absurd. Like everyone was just it was this arms race of bullshit entirely. Like anyone who was looking out for their customer or their employees at all was embracing this arms race bullshit of having Black Friday on Thursday or Wednesday or whatever stupid thing that they would do. Yeah, so I had to turn down Thanksgiving dinner. I was so mad. I was so mad. And I had an 8.5 hour shift, and it was me. At first, it was me like stocking stuff in the back, but then eventually they pulled me to pull orders. And that was this non-stop parade, just this race to um, grab stuff off shelves, put it in a bin, scan it in, and then move on to the next one. And there was a point where I left at like 2:30 in the morning, and like it was we had like 30 or 40 orders in the queue. Hang on, I'm gonna bring the cat down. That was easy enough. And there was no way to catch up. I was like the only person picking, and again, I'm not that fast at it anyway. But yeah, you'd have me picking on Black Friday, the early morning, and it was, you know, whatever. It was like crap. It was like awful stuff. People wanted clothes. Who wants clothes on Black Friday? Especially stuff that's not on sale. Searching for clothes at Target was a nightmare scenario because you had to know where the stuff was. And if you didn't know where the stuff was, you had to grab an RFID gun, which you had to pair with your iPod Touch thing. And usually that connection broke, so you'd have to go through and reset the connection, and then you'd have to like hover this like uh, RFID gun over and over and over again, to try and find this one item of clothing, so you can fulfill an order, and then you'd have to type in the SKU for whatever the next item was to just get it done. And then you do this over and over to find some rare, obscure thing. And since you're in clothing, there's like not much organization, or there was no shelving standard. So it wasn't like just go to aisle 3 of clothing and do this. Like finding shoes was a nightmare. Finding like anything over there was just a nightmare. Finding stuff was a nightmare outside of like food or like dog supplies or furniture. Furniture was easy. Finding furniture was easy, but Oh, that was a fucking nightmare of a time. That was filling in orders was just a major pain in the ass. It just sucked. It just sucked. I don't know why I didn't bring up my chat. Oh, what's up, Broskies? How you doing, man? We're rambling here for a minute. What's your favorite game? It's XCOM UFO Defense, bro. That's easy. So easy. I actually did was it top 5 strategy games? Nice, I know. Top 5 strategy games video back at the end of 2009, and I highlight why I love that, and then also 4 other strategy games that I love a lot. Go check that out. Go check it out. It's a relatively brief. I've got the dashboard up. I can see. How long is that video? That was one of the 2 videos I made right before I rebooted the channel, and but I've made a lot of stuff since I rebooted the channel, so it's not like some small thing anymore. You bounced off those XCOM games hard. Which ones? The old ones or the new ones? I mean, the old ones I can understand because you needed you didn't need a strategy guide. You needed an instruction manual to explain what the hell was going on. The newer ones were a little easier though, because they kind of tutorialized things and they streamlined a lot. That was 7 minutes and 44 seconds. That's not even enough time to get a mid-roll these days. Both of them, that's a bummer, my dude. If you play like the remakes, like they're kind of dour, right? Enemy Unknown is a thing, and it's a good. I think it's a solid game. It's in my mind for very philosophical reasons. It's not as good as my favorite game of all time, which is the Enemy Unknown, or it was UFO Enemy Unknown or XCOM UFO Defense, depending on which side of the Atlantic you bought it. But Enemy Unknown is a solid game. Kind of guides you through, but it's also really dark. It's really dark. Like XCOM UFO Defense is a bright game. There's a lot of bright colors and yellows and just bright greens, and it's very vibrant. But yeah, the remake is darker and it's different. And they made it console friendly, so you could play it on a console. I think I played it with a controller, even on PC. I think. Maybe I played with a mouse. I don't remember. Whatever. That was a decade ago. I remember interviewing the producer at E3 Flex, right? This was they had a theater at the 2K booth, and this was a Firaxis producer, and I don't even know where that guy is. I don't remember what that guy was. I don't even have access to that email account anymore. Which I should have access to that email account. I don't even know if those people still work in the gaming industry, for crying out loud. I just don't know. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Hey, it's Friday night. We're just chilling. We're just hanging out. Just chatting. What we're going to do. We're already 33 into this. Lasted longer than I thought it would. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're doing this evening. Except for Rascable, who's working. My poor dude. I'm sorry. God, it's only in retrospect that I realize how like screwed up my schedule, like, and how it would like affect my depression, or how it affect my anxiety, or like seasons or anything like that. But I had a lot of really good times because I would, toward the end there, I would walk to work. Like I moved within 2 miles of work, so I was able to just walk to and from work. Do you think there's an oversaturation of remakes around the last few years? I think in the AAA space, yeah, probably. Rascal wants to mod a Bethesda game I played. I'm thinking, hey, you and your mods, man. Remakes seem to be getting bigger because there's just more games to remake. It's not like 10, 20 years ago when there were fewer games. There are so many games now. And granted, PC games are easier to get working Even console games. All the new consoles play all the old Xbox One games or PS4 games. It seems like it's a pretty easy thing to just get your game working on the new console. But like remakes just seem like the best way to avoid your games going to abandonware where no one can play them at all, or they can only play them in very specific conditions where they have to read, 4-page README or grab a huge patch for them or something like that. So, and I talked about this a little bit more in the Patreon Q&A. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you can ask more questions and I can go a little bit more in depth with them too. But I don't know. It seems like just the fact that there are so many more games out there, and there are more games to update, to work on there, so that people can actually play them. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I was gonna say, the System Shock review hit 200,000 views recently, which is a huge heckin' deal. Prey 2006 is at 13,000. Like, my God. Prey 2017 hit 25,000 views. That's nuts. It's heckin' nuts. My goodness. My goodness. That's a lot of views. Thank you, everyone, for watching all these videos so many times. And as long as you have, and sometimes multiple times, people saying like they've watched one of my particular videos like a couple times. Like, I haven't even done that, or at least not since in some of these cases. I rarely watch any of these reviews end to end. My favorite free-to-play shooter has been crashing my PC lately. So in case that happens, I'll be back. Right now, okay. All right, thank you. All right, welcome back. I don't know what your favorite free-to-play shooter is. My favorite free-to-play shooter was Infantry back in the day. No one remembers it now, but it was like a proto Battlefield 1942. It had capture points. You could spawn people in. You know, and it was top down. It was so much fun. So when Battlefield 1942 came out, and it was basically that, but in 3D, it's like, you guys just copied Infantry. So it's called World War III. That sounds really generic. That sounds like one of the like copy pasted games from wherever. But I'm not very good at shooters, so I haven't played any of them. If I was any decent at shooters, I'd be playing some shooters. But every single time, it's like, bleh. It's like, bleh. All right. Yeah, so it's Friday night. How's everyone doing, man? What's up? It is like almost entirely men. It's kind of a bummer. Like, the channel is just for. I realized that the games I was playing growing up were pretty much just for white dudes, and only white dudes play them. It's just it is weird. So like, no women, no people of color, like anything. It's really strange. And that was my childhood, and that was like, I feel like I missed out on stuff, and it feels like there are lessons in gaming that didn't get out. I'm having this kind of sunshine moment right now, this light bulb moment where it's like, man, some of the things that people like about gaming are things that were kind of just secreted away in games by white people. By white people for white people. And so, you have this entire other scene. You have people playing all these other games, but it's just these particular games are coming up with these lessons. And over time, as the population kind of homogenizes and stuff like that, like, there are lessons that can kind of cross boundaries. And I'd love to know kind of the other way around. Like, if there were games that were popular for women and things like that, other groups, how those decisions came back, those design decisions came back to stuff like that. Maybe that is the stuff where you have the third person view or the duck and cover or the this and that, the accessibility features that made their way back to the more hardcore games. That's a very interesting concept to explore. Like maybe that's a video, but I don't know. I think that's a strong premise. Grimes gets a lot of open roles in the lane, but never takes a shot. What the fuck? I don't understand it. Twitter's freaking weird, man. I don't understand. I don't understand at all. Definitely not copy pasted anything. Well, that's good. But with a name like World War III, like, that's the most generic name. That's the most generic name I've ever heard. Like, wow. It's like shooter. Just call it shooter. Like, whatever. That's great. Yes, Mr. Curbs. Is that true? All right. Well, looks like we've hit our saturation point. It's kind of weird, and I realize I didn't advertise this, but it's kind of weird to have like almost 10,000 subscribers and then only have like 3 or 4 people watching a live video at a time. So I acknowledge that's part of my fault, but actually maybe it's mostly my fault. Who knows? I'm more than happy to accept any kind of blame for that. But the fact that it's like not being pushed further, or maybe just that's what, you know, the YouTube streaming format is, it's just really strange. Really strange. And maybe that's just the composition of the fan base. Like maybe some of those subs are older. Maybe they're looking for something else. Maybe someone will never click a live video to save their life. I know I used to get a lot of bumps when people go live, and it's like, I don't want to watch these people. Who cares? I don't want to watch the nth review going live on a Friday night. Who cares about that, dude? This freaking awesome ass rope. Oh man, whatever. It's great. Anyway, I'm working on the new review. Starting up Knights of the Republic, but not in any serious way. At least I'm capturing footage. I'm on Taurus for at least the first game. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I had to grab a lot of patches for it. If you become a Patreon subscriber, Patreon supporter, you can get your Q&A in, your questions in for, I'm doing the April Q&A right now. And, you can give me a question. I'll answer your question. We'll get a life update and all that fun stuff. That's what I do for Patreon subscribers. You'll be able to get in for $3 at the end of the month. It's pretty great. Yeah. Not too shabby. Not at all. All right, guys. It's been fun. Enjoy your weekends. I'm going to get back to work or whatever I was doing before I started this up. And we'll just go from there. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Bye.